we go. Okay. Aloha, everyone. Aloha, welcome. Oh my, that looks like that was me. Thank you for that magic. Wow.
Huh? Don't blame that.
Welcome. I'm Damiana, and welcome to the Mystic Manor. And today we're going to be doing a really powerful experience that I call Sensual Awakening. Really, it's about opening and connecting with all of the senses, recognizing the power of the senses, the power that the senses hold in really bringing us back to ourselves, bringing us back to our presence, and into the power of just being. So this experience today is going to be coming into grounding into the power of that, into being. So moving away from the busy, highly reactive mind that is constantly running and coming into a really grounded space. And then the second half, we will be diving more into questions and supporting you in answering anything that you are going through right now that you're really wanting support with. So I'm an intuitive holistic healer and a love and sensuality guide, and I would love to help support you in coming more into your joy and your pleasure and the power of being. So for me right now, what I'm experiencing is this like highly pressurized energy of like making sure that we're doing things and being on time for things. And like right before this, I actually came on and I was attempting to set up the space to be ready for this right at 5 o'clock and be able to have time before this started to really ground myself before I came on live. And then some things happened and shifted, and of course it ended up taking longer than I was expecting. And so now I am here having not gotten to have the moments to ground beforehand. So I'm going to get to ground with all of you and guide you in the grounding space, as well as for myself, which of course we always guide whatever it is that we're needing most. So I'm excited to come into that space with all of you. So, about to get started. This is magic, everyone. Come to give me a grounding kiss before I get started. Thank you. Move this over really quick. So, I would invite you to get into a comfortable position and start taking some deep breaths in and releasing, sighing out, and just letting go of anything that you have been through today, anything that you're holding on to, anything that is holding you back. And maybe placing one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart, taking some deep breaths in. Of your body. So energy, what energy is just energy in, or emotion. What emotion is energy in motion. And so when we're feeling emotion and things are kind of taking over, the mind is taking over, really it's just energy that wants to be moved. And so it's so important that we find an outlet for energy that is wanting to release from the body. So that could be in breathing, through toning, through moaning, through dancing, through grounding, taking a bath, connecting with someone, hugging, holding, cuddling, whatever it might be. So we're going to dive into some practices that can really help us come into that state of being. So I really invite you to just go for it. I'm assuming there's not many people around you to watch you or see what you're doing or judge you in any way. So I really just invite you to allow yourself to release in whatever way. And that could look like screaming, that could look like crying, that could look like stomping on the ground, shaking, like really almost like convulsingly shaking, you know. Luna's CBD just said, just recently listened to Damiana on the podcast. She's bomb, capitals bombs. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that makes me so happy. I would love to hear, Luna, if there's anything specific that you got from that podcast. By the way, the podcast, of course, was with Brandon Beecham of the Positive Head podcast, and that was just a couple weeks ago. So I definitely invite you to look into that podcast. It was really powerful. I actually just had a woman message me the other day and said that the podcast completely transformed her relationship, her partner, or the relationship with her partner, because she was able to surrender into unconditional love and really feel that for the first time, which just, I can't even tell you like what that did for, like, this is why I'm alive and this is why I'm here. And it helps me so much to have these reminders, especially if I'm going through something, moving through something, and like, sometimes it's easy to get distracted. And so, I see all these hearts flooding in. Thank you so much. Titles are lame. Love Damiana. Oh, thank you so much. I love you. You're amazing. And there's a lot going on right now. And I've been experiencing lots and lots of just lots of stuff going on for a lot of people. I've been on the phone a lot, helping people move through a lot of different things, and the message is really pretty clear, and it is around the power of grounding and moving the energy through the body, and like really grounding into the power of our breath, and calming the mind, and coming into presence, coming into that state of being. So we will dive into a little journey of that. And I invite you to lay down or get into a comfortable seated position. I've got some beautiful crystal sound bowls here before me, and I'm going to play for you all and just kind of guide you on a little journey. So I invite you to, throughout this experience, to take some really deep breaths and just allow yourself to really connect inward. Beginning with the breath, deep breath in and release. Another deep breath in. Noticing what you're feeling in your body, any little sensations that you're feeling, just being with those sensations. I'm going to take a few moments to just sit with the energy that we've just created, that we've just cultivated within our own system. Just recognizing the power that we hold in every moment. So I invite you to just be still for a few moments and to continue these deep breaths as you go inward and allow yourself to feel. We get to remember that this feeling is always here. That we can always come back to this space no matter what we're doing, no matter who is surrounding us, no matter what we're experiencing outside of ourselves or inside of ourselves. This space of presence, this space of beingness, it is always and forever available to us. So thanking yourself for choosing to allow yourself to be guided into this remembering. Because it is so simple, but it's not always easy. And so thanking yourself for being able to take yourself there. Truly, we all have this in us to be able to feel this space. And it's a matter of a choice for us to come into this space, for us to take the time, to take the moments, to take those deep breaths, to give, rather give than take. It's really a giving these breaths to ourselves, because it is so easy to breathe shallow. It is so easy to get distracted. It is so easy to get into the hustle and bustle and mindset of just constant production and pushing and fixing and figuring it all out. And it is our opportunity to stop, to notice when we are feeling out of alignment, and to choose to bring ourselves back. You, every single one of you, have the power to be here whenever you want to be, to move from this space, to act from this space, to respond from this space, and to create and to be productive from a state of beingness. I see lots of hearts coming in. Thank you. It clearly resonates. Such a powerful reminder that it's not out there. So much of our world is convinced that it's always over there. Once you get the thing, once you have the job, once you complete that thing or you get to that status or whatever it might be, you have the money, then I can relax, then I can be peaceful, and I can calm down. But the truth is that it's right here in every single moment that we have the power to be in presence and to be in love with whatever arises. And take another deep breath of breathing this remembering, breathing in this knowing into your body. And when you're ready, opening your eyes and just allowing yourself to continue to be still if it feels good, or maybe even roll your neck, your wrists, or your ankles. Just coming into the body. And remembering that nothing I am sharing with you is anything that you don't already know. I'm not teaching you anything. It's all just a remembering. It's just a reminder. I'm just guiding you back to what you already know, what you already have. Because the truth is that we have access to this at all times. And sometimes it takes someone else guiding us there. Sometimes it takes a bowl, sound healing. Sometimes it takes an essential oil to take a deep breath in with, to awaken the sense of the smell, the ears. Maybe it's to eat something. Like, we have the power to come into presence. The opportunities are there. They are so abundant. They are in every moment. There is an opportunity to come back. It's like this beautiful little siren calling us home. Come back, come back, come back to the truth, come back to love, come back to care, come back to this knowing of what has always been there. Thank you for allowing me to guide you on that little journey of connection inward. And I saw a bunch of questions coming in, so I'm going to look over these and we'll move into the part of answering some questions. So if there's anything that you're wanting support with right now, if there's anything that you're feeling that you've been struggling with, that you are just questioning and concerned about, or there's a feeling that you don't know what to do about, or whatever it might be, please ask. I coach people every day, and I guide people back into this truth and into this state of being, and I've got lots of tools and resources, so would love to help support you with whatever it is that you're moving through right now. So I'm gonna look at some of these questions. Oh, aloha. Aloha, Anna. I see there's this is so beautiful. Feels so good to breathe. Yes, yes, yes. I appreciate you forever and always. Thank you, love. You're so sweet. And then I think we got a question. Oh, yes. Okay, so someone was asking what helps against depression. So that is a really amazing question. Ooh. So there's a lot of things. This is a very, very big topic. So I'll repeat it again. What helps against depression, which is the way that they worded it, which it's already a really beautiful opportunity right there. But even in the way it's being asked of like against depression, it's like energy of fighting against it is actually the exact opposite thing that we want to be doing for anything. But depression is a really great example, as this is something that so many people are dealing with right now. There's a lot going on in our world. It's a lot of confusion, a lot of people, just a lot of unknown. So one of the first things I would say for dealing with depression is going to be to actually practice loving the experience of what you're going through, which I know can be so challenging. But the energy of against something versus surrendering to it. So trusting that it's here for you, that it's happening for you, not that it's happening to you. And so obviously, of course, that's easier said than done, but there's a lot of different practices that you can do to help you come into this space. And so one of the things that you can do to help support you in this is to really come into a state of trusting that everything is here for you. Every single thing is here for you to help support you in taking the next step, or maybe the leap or jump into trusting and surrendering on an even deeper level. So in terms of helping to support moving through depression, I would even invite that, looking at the way that we're speaking about it. So even saying, you know, I'm moving through the feelings of depression, or I'm experiencing these feelings, versus even labeling it depression. So one of the things that we do when we claim something, even saying like, I am depressed, the words I am are the most powerful words in the universe. You are literally stating what it is that we are, that you are declaring, you're calling to the power of God consciousness. And the truth is that we are creators, we are gods. So when you use the words I am, we get to be very careful with the words that come after it. So instead of claiming something like depressed and labeling it as such, a way to move forward, not take a giant step forward and be like, from I am depressed to I am love, that might be really challenging if you're in the depths and the dark space of feeling depressed. That can feel like impossible. And I know I've been there. I've experienced really deep depression to a point where I wanted to commit suicide when I was really young. So I totally understand what that's like. But one of the steps forward that you can take is, instead of declaring I am depressed, actually saying I am feeling whatever it is that you're feeling. So I invite you to really step into what it is that you're experiencing in your body. If you're feeling a tightness in your stomach, or a holding of the throat, feeling like you can't speak your voice, you can't express yourself, or you're feeling shaking in your hands, or whatever it might be, I invite you to actually dive into what it is that you're experiencing, what it is that you're feeling. And that's a powerful way to start opening up and to surrendering into whatever it is that you're experiencing. So again, like moving away from fighting the thing and actually moving into more of a state of surrendering to it, and just diving into what we feel in the body will actually give this sense of validation of that I am safe to feel, that I'm safe to experience whatever it is that I'm experiencing, instead of trying to fight against it and trying to make it different, trying to change it. So the first thing is to really move into that space of practicing accepting it and practicing loving it. Joss Kanader said that was one of the most powerful healing experiences. Wow, I would love to know, are you talking about what I just guided you guys through? Because that's a really big statement. I would love to know more about that. If you would love to share a little bit more of your experience, or would love to ask a question or anything, I would love to hear more. So please let me know. And I love this way of dealing with depression. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. And this really is, this is just the beginning of a way to help support and move through depression. But obviously there is so many layers to depression. And if you are, or someone you know is going through severe depression, please message me. You can private message me on Instagram at Damiana Loves. And I would love to help support you, because ultimately what depression is layers upon layers upon layers of programming, of old patterns, of old belief systems that have been passed down from our parents, from our schools, from the government, from all of the systems. And yes, I would love for you to share. Please continue to comment. I would love to read off what your experience was, what you felt, like what came through for you. Joss Kanader, that's who I'm speaking to, and anyone else too, I would love to hear. But specifically with depression, ultimately it can be one of those feelings where it feels like you're being overtaken, where it's like you're drowning and like there's nowhere to go. And so I know that it can feel all-consuming at times, but just know that ultimately it is a process, but it is so completely 150% possible to completely transform it. It is not just and it doesn't just take medication or pharmaceutical drugs to do it. There's a lot of other ways that you can do it. Not saying that you should stop taking those if that's what you're taking, but if you're wanting support, I would love to help support you in that. But it is a journey, but it's definitely possible, and I know firsthand because I've been through it. So please reach out if you're wanting more support on the depression side. And then I want to read what Joss Kanader says. She said, I love this way of dealing with depression, exactly what my guides had told me. Oh, that's so beautiful. Yes, I'd love to share. She said, I had a shaman healer come through me. My whole body was convulsing in a great way, shifting all the stagnant energy. I began chanting Shanti, Shanti, and some other beautiful language with the frequency of the sound bowls. It was so mystical and beautiful, and it stopped just as you began talking about the depression, as this is what the guides knew I needed to hear post-healing. Incredible. Wow. That is amazing. She says, during it, I was able to communicate to Mum to grab my crystals, and it took things to the next level. Wow, I'll never forget this. Oh my goddess, that is so amazing. I am like, babe, do you have your phone? I want to take a screenshot of this. This is one of those things where I'm like, if I'm like, yeah, hearing things like this is what helps me to continue to help support people and to help offer these kinds of experiences. And I just to know how much it's actually helping people. And I would love to share also that doing this kind of an experience virtually is something that feels very challenging for me, because I'm so used to guiding experiences in person and witnessing people go through these kinds of experiences and witnessing, like hearing them share and getting to hug them, getting to hold them, getting to really feel their energy. And so when you share something like this, when you write a comment and you share it, I really do feel it. I mean, how could you not? So this is really encouraging, as this is a very new venture for me to be guiding these online. So, wow, that is so incredibly beautiful. Thank you so much. And I would love to connect with you more too. Please message me. I guide a few other experiences that are actually on Zoom, so we can actually see each other. You can speak, and it's a whole different thing. And we've also got an amazing program offering with our membership here with Optimystic as well, where there's more deep dives and connection and experiences. So you can go to optimystic.tv to find out more about that as well. And then she says, you are amazing. Thank you so much. You have such a special gift. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh. I'm just going to take a moment to take that in. thank you so much for that reflection. Thank you so, so, so much. It means so much to me, and it just truly warms my heart to know how much came through for you. And this is something that helps me so much. This experience, like, I feel completely transformed too. When I first, I don't know if you joined from the beginning, but when I first got on this live, I was feeling so much and so much pressure and so much like time constraints and all of this, and just was really wanting a chance to ground, and I hadn't gotten that yet. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to tell you all what's going on. I'm going to ground with you right here, and bring myself into the state that I would have loved to press go live with, but I wasn't there yet, and now I am. And so thank you for going on this journey with me. Thank you so much. So if anyone has any questions and they would love support moving through anything that they're experiencing challenges right now, or anything else, like, please let me know. I'd love to help support you.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you want to come on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Did you go? I want to find her.
So I was in the space in the room as we grounded and really dropped in and began to tune. And something that I've been contemplating and meditating on more frequently has been this observation of dropping into presence, and then this like layer of fear that arises, like it's not safe to be here. Like I need to prepare for something that like a catastrophe that may like overwhelm me. So that like came up during that, and I've just been like aware of that more recently. And it is like a safety, like a rooted groundedness, and that was part of my experience today, of just knowing that was there.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So important to just notice and to just be aware of what's coming through, because if we just keep trying to block it or trying to like force our way through, which is so much around like our world's natural kind of tendency to just kind of like go in there and fix it, like do it anyway, you know. But when we actually just can be aware of it and just notice it, then we're actually bringing light to it. And when we bring light to it, then and only then is when we can move into a space of moving through the fear, of recognizing that we can actually use that fear as a platform to rise higher and to move into the next level of awareness, into the next level of safety. And ultimately that base level of like, I am not safe, this is universal. So many people feel this and are moving from that space of I am not safe. They're acting from that space. That's why there's so much fighting. That's why there's war. That's why there's everything that you can imagine that just doesn't feel almost like right, is coming from a place of not feeling safe, of feeling like it has to be taken from someone else. If I feel this way, it's instead of moving through it on our own, it's like we feel like we have to force someone else to feel the same way that we're feeling for us to feel better. But we actually realize, especially if you've ever hurt someone, you realize it doesn't feel good to hurt someone else. It doesn't feel good to put something horrible onto someone else. The thing that feels so good is actually to own it and to be like, wow, I feel this way. Oh, wow, there's a fear there. Okay, this is happening. And how can I actually move through it, which can be so challenging for people. And one of the things that I know you have the awareness of, but that root level safety is a root, that root space, that like root chakra, like base level rooted energy of like the security of like, I am safe, I'm home no matter where I am, and that I get to move through the world in safety no matter where I go. And we actually talked about this last week as well with Magic of the power of actually facing our fears and being able to dive into the fear. Because when you're feeling fear, the natural tendency is to run the other way. And that's why there's that acronym for fear that's fuck everything and run, or face everything and rise. And so the fact that you are able to face it and able to see it, to recognize it, that is where it all begins. The awareness is where it all begins. So as long as you have an awareness, even like what one of the men asked earlier about depression, the fact that you're able to say, like, I need to move, I want to move through this depression. It's like that awareness of what you're experiencing is the bottom, that's the platform that you get to start from. That is, now you can start the journey of really moving through that. So taking a moment to honor yourself for, like, wow, I'm so aware that I can tell when I am feeling unsafe, when I'm feeling unsupported, when I'm feeling like the bottom's about to drop out and I'm going to like fall through the earth or whatever fear, even if sometimes the fears seem so crazy. You're like, how could I be afraid right now? I'm in this beautiful space. I'm so supported and cared for. Like, nothing's going to happen. There's no danger coming at me. So why am I afraid? It can seem like crazy. But the only reason why it even seems that way is because it comes from the mind. All fear comes from the mind. And so ultimately it's nonsense. The mind, it's like the mind, ultimately our thoughts mean nothing. They only mean whatever we choose to, whatever meaning we choose to give it. So allowing ourselves to experience what we're experiencing, but not identifying with it. So that's the difference of, like I was sharing earlier, of saying like, wow, I'm feeling the feelings of what some might call depression. Okay, what does that actually feel like? Instead of identifying with, I am depressed, and claiming that, and people are like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm depressed. You're going around saying I'm depressed every day. You're literally like solidifying, you're declaring it, you're bringing that energy into your body. But instead we have the power to look at it and be like, whoa, I'm experiencing these things, and become the witness, become the observer of the experience. And when we take that like back seat, almost like the outsider perspective, then we can actually see things for what they are. And only then can we bring them into the light. Can we illuminate them? And so it's such a practice of just like, awareness, breathing into it. Okay, I see you. I feel you. Okay, what is this thing trying to tell me? Because ultimately, every single thing we experience, there's medicine there. So the fact that you're not feeling, the fact that you don't feel safe to actually just go deep into those spaces, there's something there for you. And so I invite you to, next time you're in that space, to like ask it. Say like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what do I need to hear right now? And then just be with that and just listen and receive the answers that are already within you. Because the answers are there.
Just as you pose the question, to me, what just came through is, you are loved.
Maybe that gets to be like your new mantra. Whenever you feel that throughout the day, whenever you feel off, or even maybe it's just only in those moments of feeling unsafe. Maybe that's the remedy. So now you get to just like practice that. Okay. You are loved. And practice with the wording too, because maybe it's I am loved, or maybe it's you are, as if someone is like, you are loved. Someone's saying it to you. You know, the third person. Both are so powerful, but everyone is so different as to what most resonates, like what penetrates the most deeply. So just like playing with it and feel like, oh, when do I feel the most loved? Is it when, maybe sometimes it's when someone else says it to you and then you're like, whoa, okay, now let me practice saying it as if I'm that other person. Or maybe it's even doing it in the mirror. That is so powerful too. Like looking right into the mirror, into your eyes, those portals of creation, the reflection of your soul, and actually saying it to yourself. That is like a whole nother level. I've cried within like seconds of looking at myself in the mirror, and I've seen people have massive transformations from doing mirror work. So yeah, it's a fun little adventure you get to dive into now around that.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for appearing behind the camera. Hannah is one of our, obviously she lives here because we're in quarantined here, but she guides experiences every Thursday morning? Saturday. Saturday morning. So that's tomorrow morning. She does yoga and breath and essential oils and a bunch of other things. What are you doing tomorrow morning?
It will be a yoga and a meditation class.
Beautiful. So tomorrow at 8:30 on here, on our Facebook, on YouTube, on all the things. So come back in and join us for some movement, get into your body and do a little meditation. She's such a wonderful yoga teacher. I'm just like, every time, like, oh, it's so good. It's so like gentle and loving. It's a very loving practice. So loving for our bodies. Yeah.
Definitely. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yay! Thank you, love. So if there's anything else that wants to come through, we've got just a few minutes left before the live gets to end. So if there's any other questions that want to come through, if there's any other things that you would like support with, if there's just a comment of what you experienced earlier that you might want support with, please let me know. Do you want to read those ones off from earlier? There was one around, there's a question, oh no, the one from the last live that I sent you.
Yeah.
I think actually, what was it? It was one that was, it was like, this woman was wanting to connect more with her partner. That's what it was. She was saying she wanted to connect more with her partner specifically through Tantra. Yes. And that was because the last experience that I did last Friday was a version, because Sensual Awakening, ultimately what it is, right? It's awakening the senses. There's so many ways, so many senses of doing that. And the one that we had done specifically last week was with eye gazing, was with breath and moving the energy with the breath through eye gazing, through connecting. And so if you have a partner and are able to be physical with them in person, there are definitely some things I would love to help support you in practicing together. And I actually guide an experience that is just for this. I do one-on-one sessions as well as, oh man, there we go. I do one-on-one sessions for partners that want to cultivate more connection, as well as people who want to cultivate more connection, even just like within their family. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Reach out to me on my Instagram. You can private message me at Damiana Loves. And for right now, of things that you could do on your own, wherever you are, one of the things is like the first pillar of any relationship is communication. And so actually doing a practice around communication where you start with I. So I feel, I experience, I'm witnessing, or whatever it is, and really recognizing right off the bat the difference of the energy that someone will meet you with when you speak as yourself. So when you immediately speak to someone else like, you do this every time you blah, 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 you never, all these things, that immediately puts people on the defense. And so one of the most powerful ways we can bring people into a surrendered state where they're actually in the receptive space. They're able to actually hear you if you start from the space of taking complete ownership. I feel, I experience. And if you go from that place and you start from that place, then things really soften and things can really open in a beautiful way. So the first thing I would invite you to do is actually set the space with your partner and say, like, or ask them first of, would you be willing and open to do a communication practice with me? And so one of the things, getting that consent first is really potent, really powerful, so that you are on the same page and you're willing to dive into that with each other. And then from that space, being able to say, we're going to practice expression first. And so what you'll do is you'll declare one person will go first and the other will just listen. And this alone can be so challenging for people, to be able to hear someone speak to how they're feeling, what they're experiencing, whatever it is, and to just listen. The natural tendency is to want to fix something, is to want to figure it out and help them, or even be defensive and be like, I never do that. I never said that. What are you talking about? Like, how could you think that of me? So that alone can be a huge opening and a huge dissolving of layers, just to be able to sit with someone and really listen, to actually listen with your heart, not just with your ears so that you can repeat back what they said, but to listen with your full heart, being open and allowing yourself to really receive what they're saying. And part of the practice of that also is to not identify with what they're saying, to not take it personally. And so allowing whatever comes through to just bear witness to it, to just be the observer, to really hear them. And then one thing you can do after you allow them to express themselves is you can then say, so this is what I heard that you were expressing. This is what I heard from you. And then you put it in your own words, because oftentimes what happens is that we'll have these massive miscommunications because one person will say something and the other person will make a ton of assumptions about what they just said, and they will take it completely differently. And they will think all of these things about what they just said, and they will latch onto this one word, and they'll say, this meant this and all of this, but it might be not even the slightest bit of what you meant. So they can say, okay, this is what I heard you say. And they'll repeat back to you what they heard, what they felt. And then the other person has the opportunity to say, wow, I hear that that's what you heard. Now this is what I actually meant. Because you will be so surprised. This is actually such a powerful practice of connecting with each other. And this can be any relations. It's not just partner relationships. It's all different kinds of relations. Your parents, your boss, even just friends, whatever it might be when you feel like you're having a miscommunication. So you will be so surprised at the level of which we misunderstand each other. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. And it really is just because we have such different communication styles. Everyone means something different. Even the words, like English language or whatever language you speak, they mean something different to all of us. If I were to say the word love into a big group of people, and I've actually done this before when I was guiding a workshop, and I had like probably 40 people. And I said, if I say the word love, like what first comes to mind? Like raise your hand. I had a couple people. One was like pink unicorns. The other was like hard rock. And the other person said, like my lover or something like that. Yeah. And when you think about that, that really shows you the wide variety, wide array of differences that we naturally have, because every single word means something different to every one of us. So we really get to be so intentional with the way that we speak and our communication styles. It is so vital. It is so important. And this is one of those things that causes fights. It causes wars. It causes families to break up and not even see each other. There are families that I've worked with in group coaching or one-on-one coaching where they hate each other, and they don't even see their own grandchildren, or they don't get to see their kids anymore because of these miscommunications. And so we really get to come into a space of ownership, of owning our experience, of owning the way that we feel, and being able to express communication in a really healthy, loving, supportive way. So obviously this is just like the tip of the iceberg of even that one question. This is like one tiny little thing that you can do to start to connect more, but that tiny little thing is so massive and has the power to completely transform everything. So if you have a desire to dive deeper with this, communication or intimacy, tantra, sensual awakening, sound healing, whatever it might be, please reach out to me. You can message me again at Damiana Loves on Instagram, and I would love to help support you. I actually offer a couple different Zoom calls every week where we can actually see each other, and we really dive deep on this stuff and answering questions and supporting you. I can send you the links for that. We also have this amazing platform here with Mystic Manor. If you go to optimystic.tv, you will find out all about our play shops and what we offer. We offer twice daily play shops, 8:30 a.m. and 5 p.m. So please reach out to me. I would love to help support you in whatever it is that you're needing support with right now. So thank you all so much. Will you wait to end this because I want to get that information. Thank you all so much, and excited to see you all next week, next Friday. And I do this experience every Friday at 5 p.m. And then I also offer a bunch of different experiences throughout the week as well. So please feel free to reach out, and see you maybe tomorrow morning. Oh my God. This one didn't do it. Oh, look at that. And I did it early. That's so